In this episode, you will learn what kenjou is, when to use it, and how to use it, and you will see some example sentences. Kenjouって何? Kenjou loosely translates to humble language. The first kanji means to be humble. The second kanji has a wider range of definitions. It can mean 1. To hand over a possession to someone else, 2. To yield or give in to a stronger force, 3. To postpone an event, and 4. To criticize. いつ使うの? Just like the previous two forms of keigo, kenjou is used whenever you want to be polite and respectful towards any adult you're not friends with. The difference between kenjou and sonkeigo will be explained in detail in episode 5, but kenjou is basically used to make yourself sound humble and implies that your social status is lower than that of your conversational partner. どう使うの? This is the section where I talk about grammar. In kenjou, verbs and nouns either change forms or become completely different from their original forms. Let's start with verbs. Recall that sonkeigo had 3 verb forms. Kenjou, on the other hand, only has 2 forms. The first form is the irregular form. Just like in sonkeigo, some verbs in kenjou become completely different forms. For example, もらう to receive or to get becomes いただく and 見る to see becomes 拝見する. The irregular verbs will be explained in more detail in episode 4. In the second verb form of kenjou, you add o or go before a verb and する after the verb. For example, 借りる or to borrow becomes お借りする. Note that the verb in the middle is in the ます form. This verb also has an irregular form, 拝借する. Another example, 呼ぶ or to call becomes お呼びする. This verb does not have an irregular form. Recall that in sonkeigo, the irregular form was more polite than the other 2 forms. Similarly, the irregular form in kenjou is more polite than the form that adds o or go and する. So if a verb has an irregular form in kenjou, you should use it. Now, let's look at how nouns change. Unlike in sonkeigo, where you can add o or go at the beginning of a noun, in kenjou, nouns change rather irregularly, so you have to learn by heart what each noun becomes. Some become preceded by the word so. This kanji means rough or poor in quality. For example, the noun cha or tea becomes socha. It might be difficult for you to comprehend why you would ever describe the tea you offer to your guest as poor in quality, but that's just what we do. Another common prefix is setsu. This kanji means poor in quality or inexperienced. An example would be setcho. The second kanji, cho, usually means writing. Therefore, setcho means poor writing, and this word refers to your own writing, especially your own books. 例文は? Let's look at a few examples. Example 1. 今日2時に先生のお宅に伺ってお茶をいただいてから先生の最新作を拝読しました. I went to the writer's house at 2 today, and after having a cup of tea, I read his new novel. The 3 verbs in this example, 伺う, いただく, and 拝読する, are the irregular forms of the verbs 行く, 飲む, and 読む, respectively. All these actions, going, drinking, and reading, are performed by the speaker, and the speaker's social status is lower than that of sensei or the writer, so it is appropriate to use kenjou here, and be careful not to say socha to refer to the tea the writer gave you. Since the tea belongs to the writer, who has a higher social status, you need to add the sonkeigo prefix or before the noun. If you say socha by mistake, it will imply that the writer's tea was horrible. Example 2. 先日母が先生にお渡しした契約書の一部に誤字があったと昨晩母が申しておりましたので、大変お忙しいところ恐縮ですが、先生が今日お見えになる前にお電話を差し上げた次第でございます。I apologize for disturbing you when you are extremely busy, but I am calling you before you come here today because my mother notified me last night that there was an error in the contract she had given you the other day. This is a very long sentence, so let's break it down into shorter phrases. Let's start with the first phrase. 先日母が先生に渡した契約書の一部に In parts of the contract that my mother gave you the other day. In this phrase, the giving action performed by the mother is expressed by the verb phrase お渡しする. お渡しする to give is the kenjou version of the verb 渡す. Let's move on to the second phrase. 誤字があったと昨晩母が申しておりましたので. Because my mother said last night that there was a typological error, the verb in this phrase 申す is the irregular form of the verb 言う to say. The phrase おりました is also the kenjou version of the auxiliary verb いる. The third phrase お忙しいところ恐縮ですが is a common phrase that is used when you want to apologize for disturbing someone when they are busy. The adjective 忙しい or busy has the 尊敬語 prefix or to describe the state of 先生 who should be respected. 恐縮です is used when you are sorry for disturbing or inconveniencing people. The fourth phrase, 先生が今日お見えになる前に doesn't contain any kenjou語 because it only mentions the action of 先生 who has a higher social status than the speaker. Therefore, 尊敬語 is used instead. The verb phrase お見えになる is the irregular form of the verb 来る to come. 来る has a few other irregular forms, including いらっしゃる and お越しになる. The final phrase is お電話を差し上げた次第でございます. The verb phrase お電話を差し上げる is the kenjou語 version of 電話する to call or to ring. 差し上げる is the kenjou語 of the verb あげる to give. So this verb phrase literally means to give a phone. The final part 次第でございます is a polite way of stating the reason for doing something. In this case, the speaker is explaining why he is calling sensei. This is the end of this episode. Episode 4 will teach you the majority of the irregular verbs in 尊敬語 and kenjou語. See you next time.